but I hope they take me far away from this place. Man, I need a vacation, hallelujah. First they going, then they wish they knew you. Who the hell are you to tell me business, bitch? You ain't my lawyer, buying everything they selling. Oh well, that's consumers for you. Who's to say that freedom ain't free? I do enjoy it. Holding down the fort. Hallelujah, hallelujah. 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 Let it take its course. Once you let go of comes back. Oh yes, well of course. It's a cycle, I run laps. I'm a psycho though, fun fact. Stereotyping this white kid like I'm packing knives on my lunch bags. Bringing guns to the school dance. I'm tired of getting laughed at. Put my life into a blog post. All my feelings have been a hashtag. Suicide note on my last text. Tell my mom and my dad's next. Probably mad cause I'm 19, but I ain't 19. I ain't had sex yet. I digress cause that was a hypothetical. Love me describing a white millennial to an extreme and a stream of thought. Cause I'll write, cause I write illegible. What's the price of living life in stereo? My scenario is that my mind's at peace, but my heart's gotta speak. So I ride these beats like a bicentennial. That don't really work. Ignorance is bliss. I'm convinced pain don't really hurt if it's worth the risk. I've been pissed, thrown down in the dirt, ain't concerned a bit. Watch me hit the curb, I ain't scared. Watch me skirt the whip. I don't want nothing unless I can get it myself. Myself. I don't want nothing unless I can get it myself. Myself. I don't want nothing unless I can get it myself. Myself. I don't want nothing unless I can get it myself. Yeah. What's a solid foundation to a force of nature? I've been holding down a fort, unfortunately yours is vacant. Forks up in my road, I don't know, but I hope they take me far away from this place. Man, I need a vacation, hallelujah. First they going, then they wish they knew you. Who the hell are you to tell me business, bitch? You ain't my lawyer, buying it.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. My name is Zach. If you're new here, this is Real Deal Futures. We are going to be live trading ES. Actually, MES. Let me make sure this is straight. Yeah, it looks good. We're going to be trading MES here on the TopstepX platform. TopstepX is my prop firm of choice. This is a 50K account, 50K combine loaded up. Going to be taking a look at market structure, price action, seeing if we can't find a trade here towards the afternoon. Was just showing you guys Bookmap over here on the side, my favorite order flow tool. Taking a quick look, we had some liquidity come on the chart here just about 15 minutes ago. So I am paying attention to this level right down here. It coincides, we're headed down towards it pretty quick. It coincides with this level on my chart, which is 15-minute opening range low, initial balance low. This looks like we want to come down and tap that level. So before I do any more intro or yapping, I want to see if I want to hop right into a trade right here. Let's go to the 15-minute. I don't have a side-by-side chart today. Just taking a look at, I want to make sure I'm right on MES. Was looking at a couple other charts with yeah, this looks like it wants to come back down, guys. Sorry, let me scroll out, fix VWAP here, make sure that looks good. Cool. You know, I was a little bit disappointed getting ready to hop on, looking at this choppiness. Now it looks like we're pulling this ES drift to the downside, where we might have one of these double breaks of initial balance and drift towards yesterday's low and the low of the session, which would be right here. Yeah, just bear with me for a second. I'll answer some questions. If you're talking in the chat, what's up? Welcome back. I want to see if I want to get myself into a trade right here, and I'm just going to focus up for a minute. 55.20, we've got that liquidity. It's not the most prominent, but it's definitely something. It's at a very obvious level, right? Right at the lows of the session, or right below the lows of the session. 50-minute opening range low, initial balance low. It's right near prior day low. We got some strong levels. We are breaking below session VWAP. New York session VWAP, we've been below. I'll back up here. If I threw another one on here just for fun, we would be below low of day session VWAP. So, this run up failed. We found support just above. Prior day NY session VWAP. Those are the three that I have on here. Prior day NY session anchored VWAP, anchored to yesterday's 9:30 a.m. open. This is an anchored VWAP anchored to today's 9:30 a.m. open, which 9:30 a.m. Eastern, designated by this vertical line right here. This is just your session VWAP, standard indicator. This is looking weak though, guys. This is looking weak. I'm going to give it a little bit of time. I don't love the structure, right? Like, we did have to come back down below this to break below and really give me some indication that we are going to head lower. By the time that happens, now I'm targeting 9 points. Where do I run a stop loss? 9 points puts me right above this. Around 9 points, 10 points puts me right above this high. It's not bad. I'd like to survive wicks up above here if we had to come back up and test this level where we've got quite a bit of volume traded. All of these lows put in. We did test it there and reject pretty nicely. So I do like this. Let's see if we get a little bit farther of a pullback up and give me a chance to get in with a little bit better risk structure. So I have my reason for the short. Following market structure and price action to the downside, coming back into this range. Got a level on bookmap that I really like. Right down here near 50-minute opening range low. Initial balance low. Again, sorry for locking right in. I like to hop on these and talk to you guys, but I don't get many opportunities for trades in the afternoon. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen pretty quick. Otherwise, I'm sitting on here just hanging out. Yeah, I'd love to run a really wide one, like way up there, and I would only get that on a pullback and then a rejection to start, and I just don't think I'm going to get that. So I might be stuck waiting. I'm going to hang out, guys. I'm not going to jump in. This looks nice for a short. This looks fine. I don't want to have a stop loss right here. I'd love to see a pullback, even a wick up above here, just to take everybody else out that's getting short right now before continuing. Looks like we might get that right now. So I'm just going to stay patient. We pull back up here and we get some rejection to the downside, something along these lines. I'd be looking to get in short, maybe something along. Whoop, sorry here. Something like this. Give me a much better risk structure to run a trade to the downside. Don't know if we'll get that. We could just be doing this right now and we're getting ready to blast off, in which case this would be much more appropriate. But I just don't like having a stop loss right there. We've seen a lot of just kind of choppy back and forth movement today. Obviously, you can see these moves are not terribly small. There are these tight trends, but when we start to chop, you can have direction right, trend right. Got to find a good way to structure your risk. And I could do that with a 1-to-1 down here just to continue this thought process with you guys. Could do that with a 1-to-1, not even, I can't, with a really wide stop loss. That's pretty much the initial target here. And I'd have to look at something like that. So I'm going to wait. Maybe I missed this one. Again, I'm looking short down here. Here's the trade idea. That's it. Let's see what happens. I'm going to hang out on this one. What's up? What's up? QE, what up? Jose, what's up? Michael, what is going on? We are right at session point of control. Interesting. Sam, what's going on, my man Sam? Back in action. So let's take a look at, Michael says we are at session point of control. Volume POC. Let's look at a fixed range volume profile tool. This is what I'm getting for NYSE session. If I look at the overall session, back here, boom. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's where I'm finding volume point of control here on the 1 minute. Maybe this moves around a little bit. we look a little bit below volume point of control for the session. Prior day session, probably going to be up a little bit higher since we sold off to the downside. But appreciate you pointing that out, Michael. Let's get rid of this. Maybe we were up here when you were writing that. So let's just wait and see. Again, I'm going to stay patient on this one, guys. I like the trade idea. I like the direction. I like the target area. I just don't love the risk structure. And again, trading discretionary price action and market structure here in the afternoons, that's part of it, right? I'm going to have a target in mind. I'm going to have a reason for the trade, why I want to get in, and then I have to find an invalidation point. Where does my stop loss have to go, or where would I want it to go? And does that provide a nice risk structure relative to the amount of risk that I'm putting on the market? What is my reward looking like? I like to scale out of positions like this. If I was going to take this trade, I wouldn't be getting out fully here. I'd be looking to get stop loss to break even, maybe somewhere up here and hold. But so far, this is testing this level multiple times. I think we want to crack higher before potentially pulling back down. I'd love to see a crack up above here and then a really strong rejection to the downside. That's what I'm looking for. Again, not common that we really come all the way back down past the low of session. You can find that from back testing. You can find it from the guys at Get Edgeful. We'll talk about that a little bit today. Nice down channel. See what happens. Yeah, you ever notice VWAP and inaccurate on top step? Yes. Avery, yo, Will, what's up? Avery, good question. Looks more like it wants to break up. Yeah, I see it. I see it. I'm not, I'm looking at market structure price action. Michael, for this, I can see for this trend right now, it does look like we want to crack up, right? We've come up and tested this multiple times on the 1 minute. I'm looking for maybe a wick to the upside. I'm looking at liquidity down here, a couple of levels that I could see being tested within reason that we're headed down towards. This move to the upside really looks like a failure. I don't think we're going to absolutely break to the downside and run here in the last hour and a half of NYSE session. We might. That's not my thesis. I think it's likely that we come down here and test this area out. Near the open, near prior day low, 15-minute opening range low, initial balance low, low of session. That's what I'm looking at. Would like to get a little bit cleaner structure and maybe come up here and piss everybody off that got short already and look to the downside. But could be wrong. Could be waiting too long to enter and might not get this trade. So far, had I gotten short, I would have been wishing that I was waiting about 3 points in drawdown. So let's wait and see. Avery asked a good question. If you guys aren't aware, when you switch between time frames on TopstepX, or you kind of like scroll way in one odd direction on the chart, or you refresh the chart, VWAP is always in an odd position. An anchored VWAP is in an odd position, and you have to scroll out. I will demonstrate it. Check this anchored VWAP out right here, right? Check this one out and check session VWAP out. If I go to the 5 minute and then I come back to the 1 minute, look at where my VWAPs are. Anchored VWAP is no longer up here, right? Watch what happens when I scroll out to the initial point where it's anchored. You see that? And then I come back in. Now it's in the right place. So this is kind of just a wonky feature for TopstepX. I don't know why it does that. Kind of just a little bit of a buggy thing. But if you're going to run VWAPs on low time frames, I suggest that whenever you set your chart up, you see me do it 20 times during the live streams, and this is why I was running a 5 minute side-by-side, so I didn't have to do it. You scroll all the way out, and then you come back in. Either by hitting, like if you scroll out, you can hit reset chart. For me, it's also option R, resets it to lock the price and time access. But it's an important thing to note. Doesn't happen on TradingView. Happens on TopstepX. So if you use anchored VWAPs, you use session VWAP, scroll yourself way out if you change back and forth between time frames. Not really breaking to the upside yet. Is this liquidity still on? Not so much. Not so much. It actually lightened up. Liquidity down at 520 has lightened up. At least what I can see on Bookmap. There is some above, really, that it's started to tap into. I still think this is going to come lower. Just my read. Still think this is likely to come lower. I don't know if we're going to come up here and jerk around first, but this looks like we want to come lower. We had our chance to move higher here. We had our chance to move higher here after pulling back. That's my play for the day. I was getting ready to talk about, I was talking about things that are uncommon or common, and I had a really awesome conversation with the guys from Edgeful. If you don't know about them, it's a software company. They provide statistics and reports for a whole bunch of different financial instruments, and they're all of these technical analysis reports. I might show you guys some today, but I'm just starting to look at their program. It's really cool. I'm using it. Let's see if we get some selling pressure here. I'm using it to just start to pay attention to. A lot of the stuff I was already paying attention to. 15-minute opening range high and low, 1 hour high and range, 1 hour initial balance high and low. And it'll provide you stats like what percentage of the days, what percentage of the time does ES break both the 15-minute opening range high and low? What percentage of the time does it break both the initial balance high and low? A very interesting stat, something that I would say is statistically significant that can be used to create an edge in the market. Again, found through backtesting, but you can find things on those reports really, really easily and just have them in simple statistical forms. Customize all these reports. They're really cool. I actually like it so far. 15-minute opening range high and low is broken more often than not to the upside and downside throughout the trading day. The initial balance, the 1 hour high and low, is not. It's more common that it only extends one way outside of the initial balance high and low. Another interesting one is continuation. The 1 hour candle, the first hour candle, if it opens green, the day often closes green. More often than not, the day closes green. If it opens red, the day more often than not closes red. You can see some of those stats playing out so far. Looks like we're going to come down and have one of those days potentially where we are going to break the other side of initial balance. Here's 15-minute opening range being broken to the downside, broken to the upside here, and then right away broken to the downside here. Here is your initial balance being extended to only one side so far. It's 220. Here we come. Maybe we come back down and break that. It looks like today we will. They have other really cool stats within these stats, like what is the average extension if the initial balance is broken, the 1 hour opening range on ES is broken. What's the average movement in price or percent to the high or to the low over the last 6 months, over the last year, 2 years, 3 years? You can use whatever data you like. So really cool stuff. Again, I think it just aligns with what most guys are looking for in backtesting. We're going to identify a pattern, a level, something that we want to pay attention to. They display a lot of that stuff in this really clear and easy to understand way. So maybe it's something that you find useful, maybe not. Again, I felt I was using some of these to my advantage already. It's made me aware of some stuff that, here we come to the downside, man. Yeah, we started to pull back, didn't crack above this. This is the potential entry right here, pushing down lower. I just don't have this one in me, guys. I saw this start to lighten up, and I'll show you on Bookmap later. For this short, but I think we might see this play. But anyway, on that thought, I'm going to continue looking at it for the next, just indefinitely into the future. If I find it very, very useful, as I'm already finding just within the first couple weeks of playing with it, I will talk about it more. I'll show it to you guys. I'll bring it to you guys. I'll let you know exactly what I'm looking at, what I am using from it. But it's Edgeful. Get Edgeful is the site. It's pretty cool. Oh no, it's edgeful.com. I'm sorry. Pretty cool. What's up, man? What is going on, guys? Welcome in. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Watching ES on TopstepX. If you guys don't know, I run a free Discord, live trading like this almost every day. Just coming back from a couple days away from the office. Live trading, analysis, my charts, my levels every day. Full explanation of my strategy, what I'm using to trade, how I'm trading. No gatekeeping. I do trade reviews, all of that fun stuff. I answer questions personally for free. 1,000 members in there active. It's an awesome community. Would be happy to have you in. Link in description. Link is everywhere. I also have a one-on-one coaching program. No videos, no pre-made courses, no magic strategy. You get all that stuff from me for free. I charge for one-on-one coaching, implementation, working with you on your trading plan, all encompassing, starting to trade live in the morning every day, and then have individual one-on-one sessions to review all of that trading and start to do a little bit more of what works, a little bit less of what doesn't, work through any roadblocks that you're facing. I was on NQ. True, you were on ES. Yes, I got you, man. I got you. Yeah, my point of control is a little bit higher on ES here. But if you're interested in any of that, man, hop in the free Discord. All that stuff. Be happy to have you guys there. And quick disclaimer, while we're into it, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. I'm just an idiot on YouTube talking about trading. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. You'll probably lose money if you trade. Nothing I say or do or show is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. It's for entertainment purposes only. Full disclaimer on the bottom of this this video on my site, realdealfutures.com. Yeah, so this is choppy, guys. This is choppy. Still looks weak. Again, I hopped on here right about 2 o'clock, right about here. Was looking to get short down towards this level, maybe a level on Bookmap. I wanted to see, really nice move would have been something where we come back up here, like we started to do, crack above this high, and then got that reaction that we started to see right here. I'd be in short if we got that move to the upside first. Maybe on another day I'm short already. I'll tell you that. Maybe on another day I'm short from this level. Looking down. Bookmap lightened up, and I'll show you what I mean when I say that. Here was the level of liquidity that was lining up really nicely, right? Here is 2 o'clock Eastern. As we start to come over, you can see orders have come off the book down here. Got pulled. Not as strong of a level. This relative to everything else on the book today, this wasn't a massive level of liquidity. Excuse me. Algo stuff, tracking price, I don't really pay attention to. I want to see big, bright red levels lit up like a Christmas tree. So, no trade for now, guys. Hanging out, seeing if we get another setup. Feel free to ask questions. If you're hanging out, be happy to answer trading questions, man. Sam says, Zach's a phenomenal coach. I can attest. Awesome, man. How is the pay structure for your coaching? Is it monthly? Is it one-time payment for a certain amount of time? If you're interested, man, book a free call, 30 minutes to talk to me. We'll be happy to explain the whole thing. No pressure, even if it's not in the cards for you. But it is a one-time payment for 1 month of coaching. What it entails is one-on-one sessions, 2 times a week, 1 hour each. And every morning, 9:30 a.m. to about 11:30 a.m. Eastern, live trading, all of it through Zoom, face-to-face. I was going to say just like this, but not just like this. Face-to-face through Zoom, where I'm sharing my screen. You're able to share your screen. We're able to review things together. But we're talking upwards of 50 hours over the course of a month. If you figure 2 hours a day plus 2 one-on-one sessions each week. And then the initial session I let run, longer so we can kind of set everything up. But if you're interested, man, hop on my site. More information there, realdealfutures.com. Book a free call. Free 30-minute call. Don't wait. I got more guys starting. I'm excited to say. More guys starting soon, and I'll probably have a wait list pretty soon. Right now, I've got space. I'm going to say for probably 2 people right off the bat. But coming into November, I got more people starting, and right around November, December, I don't anticipate having open space for it. So again, not a signals group, not something where I have dozens of people in or anything like that. I'm dedicating an enormous amount of time to working with guys individually because that's what helped me. That's what I feel can help others. So we'll be happy to talk to you about that, man. But thank you, Sam and Sondo. I would be happy to speak with you, my man. And if it's not in the cards for you, absolutely zero pressure. Discord, my community, what I'm doing here, this is standalone, man. You can hop on here, ask me questions. If you don't want to work with anybody personally, you don't want to pay anybody anything, you just want to see how I trade, you want to learn the tools that I use, and that's enough for you, ask a couple questions in Discord, feel free to hop in, man. You can stick around for forever, and we can still be friends. You know that time is money. You want to get serious. You're done messing around, and you're looking for a coach who you can speak to and work through individual, problems, road bumps, wherever you're facing in trading. Be happy to do that with you, or talk about doing it with you, because I don't say yes to everybody. It's not an open format that way. Got to make sure that I really believe I can help you. Yeah, man, so we crack. This is just choppy now. Now we're kind of creating a range here. A little bit more data is printed. So here's what I'm looking at, guys, right? Orders lightened up down here. That's me losing faith in the trade idea number one. We didn't pull up above this level, and we did start to come down with some force. Sellers failed to take it lower here. So now we're pushing back up, and it's where we might get the crack above, or we're testing session VWAP. And we start to reject. This is not the same trade anymore. So I'm probably not going to take this short at all. Again, what I was looking for was this type of structure. We were coming down off of this. Very nice downtrend structure, right? This looks really good, even if we're looking at this. I was looking for something along these lines. We come down off this, mess around, chop around, maybe crack back up, and then we look like we're going to head lower. We didn't get that. Now we're just chopping around. So we'll stay patient. We'll see. Maybe this comes all the way back down to get tested a third time. I think it's likely to break. I don't think we're going to find support here again and just blast off. But this is more choppy than this nice initial trend to the downside. Failing to go lower here. Coming above this high here. Not really what I wanted to see. Man, watching bookmap over here to the side. Yeah, that's all but come off down here, and now we got some stuff on the ask here. Choppy so far, guys. Choppy, but we'll wait. Stay patient, right? Had I got short down here, would have just been chopping around. Had I got long down here, just would have been chopping around. So no trade setup, no harm, no foul. Try to keep yourself out of trades that really aren't lining up for you. Wait for the market to do what you need it to do to say, now's the time to get in, now's the time to put risk on in the market. Trading a combine here, would like to get some trading in, like I always say, but I'm not going to hop on here and just take stupid trades just for the sake of having trades on. Although I say every time I put a trade on, about 10 or 20 more people hop on here. It's funny to see. Everybody wants to see that. And I get it, man, right? It's live trading. We want to see trading. Yeah, this is just gonna be a wait and see moment here. I think we're now at this point, still think we got a chance to come lower. This point, I want to see if we continue to crack up out of this little area of consolidation. We are testing all of these lows here, right? If I'm looking left, I'm noticing all of these lows. This is the 1 minute, so we're very zoomed in, right? Not a massively strong level, but at least for this session, I'm looking at all of these lows put in, maybe being tested before we continue lower. I'm going to watch what happens after we crack above this high, after we crack back up towards overnight high, maybe 15-minute opening range high. I don't have a long from down here. That's definitely not my play. Nothing at all in my playbook is telling me to get long. It would really be a short only following this market structure and price action for the session down towards a few levels on my chart. Again, I don't love targeting a fresh low, because using Edgeful, again, can talk about that a little bit more. And again, this is stuff you can find in backtesting. It's not common. It's not a common occurrence to break both sides of the 1 hour opening range, the initial balance. And it's not common that we put a new high or low of session in power hour, the last hour of the day. So if you know that, you can decide to trade with that statistic or against it. It's not every day, of course, right? Not going to be anything like 100% or 90% or even like 85. Some of them are pretty damn strong. But most days, you could say this happens most days. Statistics show that this happens most days. Not standalone. I think something to use, along with whatever other tools you're using. But it can definitely be interesting to pay attention to, and I think it could be very helpful to know about. So here was the crack above this high. We are rejecting. We got some volume being traded. You can see that not really so much on the traditional volume down here, but you can definitely see it on Bookmap. Some volume traded up here. And we are rejecting to the downside. Again, had this occurred here, without this BS happening, I'd be looking short right now. This is just a little bit more choppy data than I want. And at this point, now I want to see we pull up above this high and we break lower to really confirm we're coming out of this. Now it's not such a clean downtrend. Now it is more choppy. And that doesn't give me a good risk structure to trade towards these levels before we maybe react. So, choppy market structure. That's what I'm writing this off as for now. But 2:34 Eastern, we're going to hang out for a little bit. See what we get towards the end of the session. If you guys have questions, trading questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Yo, bro, what do you think of 0.5 risk to reward with an 85% win rate, greater than 85% win rate? I'm not a big fan of negative risk to rewards, less than 1. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but I'm not a fan of anything less than a 1-to-1 risk to reward. In general, I think that would be profitable. Like, let's see on an equity simulator what that looks like. I think having a less than 1, here we go. Here comes the push lower. Bear with me for a second, man, but I'll look at it on an equity curve and we can look at it together and decide. Some volume behind that. Our seller is going to break it and take it lower. Again, watching the market, not a whole bunch on Bookmap that's helping me out down here. So not a super strong indication to trade towards this level like I had before, with order flow really acting as a second layer to say, hey, man, get short. We got a reason to come down here. Now we cracked the top, we came all the way back down, cracked the low. Or at least tested this low. 55.26. Yeah, cracked it by three ticks. Yeah, I like this one short, guys, but I'm looking at like initial target, right? I have to have some concept of where I would want to take some off, where I believe maybe we do see a reaction, maybe price reaches this level and we turn, and it's just close. You know, if this structure was maybe up here on the chart and I had more room to run towards this level that I'm targeting right now and saying I think we're likely to come towards like now, with a stop loss way above here, I'd be okay with it. So I think this is just one of these ones that it's going to play out in front of me. I got the read right. I can say, yay, great. You know, I can say my discernment of price action and market structure is valid. Structure is just not right for me. So, you know, that's part of, for me, that's part of trading well. It's identifying where your risk is going to be and what your initial target's going to be. And if I'm going to start to scale out down here, maybe taking half the position off, moving stop loss to break even, do I think it's worth it? Because I won't be right all the time. And there'll be times where I put the trade on and it comes to stop me at a full stop out. Yep. I think I'm going to watch this one play in front of me. Initial target would be about 55.20. That's what I was looking at. Really right at initial balance low. Low of the session right over here. See how this would have played. But while we're waiting, I'm going to answer this gentleman's question. So, if you run a 85% win rate with a 1/2 to 1 risk to reward, meaning you're only going to make half as much as you risk. If you risk $100, you're going to make $50. When you lose, you're going to lose double what you're winning. It's profitable. It's a profitable system. For the most part, yeah, it's profitable. I'm looking at an equity curve. For the most part, that's profitable. For me, I don't like it because it relies heavily on a positive win rate, a very positive win rate. And I find most guys will do better somewhere around that 1-to-1, a little bit over 1-to-1, and a positive win rate in the 55 to 65% range. I find these stats are much more attainable, right? Because if we start with the thought process that trading is really a negative sum game. So there's fees and commissions, and if we are just hitting a buy and sell button randomly with a 1-to-1, technically we'll lose money. But less fees and commissions and swaps if you're trading Forex and all this stuff. If you start with a 1-to-1 and a random buy or sell, you're break even. So in order to make money, we got to start to get above that by a little bit. First to cover fees and commissions, and then to actually have a profitable system. And you can do that with pretty modest numbers. You don't have to be shooting for an 80% win rate, and you don't have to be shooting for a 5-to-1 risk to reward. You can be a little bit positive on both of those. And I feel it's just much more initially attainable and to wrap your mind around, easier to do than having to run a super positive win rate and a very small risk to reward, a negative, what I call a negative risk to reward, a 1/2-to-1, or the opposite of that, which a lot of guys do. I got guys in my group that do it, a really low win rate, like an abysmal win rate, and a massive risk to reward. You're going to win 3 out of 10 trades and lose 7 out of 10, but on those winners, you're going to make 10-to-1 or more, some huge number. Guys run at the extremes of those. For me, and for what I see most guys do, they're much closer to the 1-to-1, 50%. A little bit positive on both those numbers. Maybe they are closer to the 2-to-1, and a more modest win rate. Maybe they have a little bit higher win rate and they're closer to that 1-to-1. But that's just my humble opinion. So, I don't see many, guys that do well consistently, taking very, very small profits with a massively high win rate. And I see more guys that run a low win rate and a positive risk to reward, but even those, not so much in the long run. Higher time frames are all very bearish. New here, first up. What's up, man? What's up? What's up? How do you feel about copy trading? 1 to 3 or bust. So yeah, man. I mean, make it work. Whatever works for you guys on the risk to reward side. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. If you say, hey Zach, I run a 10 to 1 risk to reward and a super low win rate, and that works for you, great, no problem, man. If you're like this gentleman and you run, you're gonna make $50 for the $100 that you risk, and you're gonna win, 8 to 9 out of 10 trades. More power to you, man. Just find something that works for you, that you can wrap your head around, and that provides a positive expectancy. How do I feel about copy trading? It's fine, man. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. If you want to copy trade accounts and your broker or your prop firm allows for that, that's cool. If you're looking at Apex or somebody that allows you to copy trade 20 accounts and you think that you'll never have to master risk management because you can just trade a tiny amount and make a little bit of money and it multiplies by 20, again, you're operating at the extreme, and I don't think that's a really smart move. If you have a lot of data to show that you have a very positive expectancy and you're consistently pulling money out of the markets, yeah, copy trade. Go right ahead. More risk, more reward. But it's a double-edged sword. So you're going to put it all in one basket. You're going to put it all on the line. If you're copy trading 5 top step XFAs, if you have a bad day, you have a few bad losing days, and you lose those, you're not losing 1 or 2. You're losing all of them. Again, conversely, you catch a big runner, you're multiplying whatever that profit was in that one account by 5. So I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. I think most guys, most beginners, should not be copy trading at all. Yeah, new here. What's up, man? Welcome in. Thank you for joining. Appreciate all you guys being on here. I'm grateful for all of you. It'd be really boring if I was sitting here talking to myself. Feel free to like and subscribe. You don't have to if you don't want to. Free means free, but it helps me out. Helps me figure out how to beat the algorithm, which is equally, if not harder, than trading itself. I'll tell you guys that. So help me out with a like and subscribe. If not, no problem. If you think I suck, you can tell me that too. Higher time frames are all bearish, man. Yeah, so higher time frames, the way I'm looking at this, guys, if I zoom out, right, 30-minute, way zoomed out, let's go farther back. All-time highs, right? Sell-off, we know about this, July all the way into August, gnarly sell-off, rip everybody's faces off to the downside. Oh my God, bears are back in town. The U.S. market is going to be on fire. We're going to zero. We didn't get that. We bounced right here. Nice trend to the upside, back towards all-time highs. Didn't quite get there. Area of consolidation, at least on ES, right? I know on NQ this is a little bit weaker, a little bit different structure. Area of consolidation, what I would call range, day over day for quite a few days here. Now we opened up September bearish, right? I warned about this, talked about it a lot in my free Discord. If you guys are in there, you got my messages over the weekend, last week, or last couple days. New month, new week, after a holiday weekend, traditionally a weak month, end an election year. No surprise that we got volatility here. What did I say? Hey, we're going to blast to the downside. No, I don't call out stuff like that. I don't find marrying a bias like that is helpful. But you can be aware of certain things in the market, like Edgeful and these stats that we're talking about. So we broke this to the downside. Does this feel to me like super duper bearish? Obviously, breaking the downside out of this range and seeing these lower lows get put in isn't bullish, but I'm not saying, hey, lower prices are in store. I think we're going to tear to the downside. I think we're going to get back below, back below these lows or anything like that just yet. We continue this move lower. We see some movement lower tomorrow. These pushes up continue to fail. Maybe we got lower prices in store. Maybe this is the start of what we saw in August, and we are in for some volatility. I'd prepare for that. Again, tomorrow or if today we opened up very bearish, it was looking really weak, I'm going to look to capitalize on that. I'm going to look to trade to the downside. Conversely, just as quickly, we start to erase this move and push right back up, I'm looking to the top side of this range. So I'm not a marry a bias guy on the 1 minute at all. I use the levels. I use things on the 1 minute chart that are going to allow me to structure trades right here, right now on the 1 minute chart. But I am aware of where we are in the higher time frame cycle and what it means for structuring trades or potential opportunities. Are we consolidating? Are we in a tight range? We're bouncing off these highs and lows for the last 2 weeks like we saw. Are we breaking now to the downside pretty harshly? Are we seeing some serious volatility? Did we get the biggest one-day sell-off since August 5th? These are things to pay attention to. Stats say the first 2 weeks in September are usually friendly. Gotcha, man. Yeah, I'm just going off of my own, opinion on this. In general, trading, like, I'll give you the general, like, overgeneralization. Summer, typically choppy, low volume, slow moving, right? Here's where that didn't play out. Look at August. Did we see that did we see that right here? Did this look really slow as NQ is, approaching price limits? No. So this doesn't always happen. But in general, summer slowdown. Coming into September, volatility tends to pick up, volume tends to pick back up, and it's felt pretty bearish for me. Just opinion there. Again, in general, election year, quite a few things on the fundamental side that can kick up volatility and volume. I think it'd be worth it to be aware of that. But I don't have I don't carry these biases where I say, I think September is always weak, so I look for sells. No, man, I'm going to take buys left and right if we're pushing up. I'm trading the 1 minute chart. Same thing over the summer. As we're selling off like that, I'm hitting max profit on combines. It worked out very well for me. You got to be ready for anything in the markets. They are irrational. They are fairly unpredictable. And that's why I talk a lot about not marrying a bias. If you're going to trade higher time frames, you're going to go for these larger moves. Maybe your thesis is built much more off the higher time frame structure. If you're going to trade the 1 minute, I think, it's really helpful to start on maybe the daily, the 4 hour, 1 hour, understand where we are in the market cycle, understand where we are in that higher time frame structure, utilize that to your advantage, but don't come to the 1 minute chart at 9:30 before any structure forms and say, I'm only looking for buys, we're moving up today. I just don't think that will help you. I think you'll be caught fighting the market a lot of days where you can be flexible and say, bulls are in town. Everything in my book is telling me, look for buys, or conversely, bears are in and we're looking for sells. So I find being more flexible helps. Sorry. I was reading the same comment there. Do you have a name for your strategy? No. I trade discretionary based on market structure, price action, areas of interest, horizontal levels, support and resistance, whatever you want to call them, levels on my chart, both objective, meaning they are market-generated information. The 15-minute opening range high and low is the exact same on your chart as it is on my chart. It's not my opinion. It's objective, market-generated, and discretionary levels. Here's an example of a discretionary level. This is coming off of a high or low, an area of interest on my chart based on my opinion. I say, hey, I think that's going to go there based on some structure. Along with that, I use volume. I use VWAPs, anchored VWAPs, which is volume weighted average price, traditional volume, and I use order flow over here on the side. Boom. So that would be my description of my type of trading, my approach. Don't have any fancy name or magic name for my strategy. Discretionary at its core, market structure and price action, utilizing those tools that I just named. I have some really, really specific setups that I look for in the morning that provide a nice edge in the market. And then towards the afternoon, it is even more discretionary and based off of market structure and price action, which provides an edge in the market for me. So I hope that helps answer the question. Do you use fair value? Yeah, no problem, brother. Do you use fair value gaps for your trading? No, I don't. I'm aware of, here we go, man, continuing lower. I'm aware of what I would call like an imbalance. I think most guys would call them an imbalance. A single candle on a low time frame that has a really huge body that trades in one direction. A lot of times, just being aware of price action and market structure, price likes to come back across that and fill the imbalance, for lack of a better term. But I don't use fair value gaps specifically. I don't use individual candlesticks or chart patterns specifically. I like to run monotone stuff here and really focus on market structure and levels over individual price action, but I'm aware of everything. And I think in the past where I spent a lot of time trying to memorize names for things or utilize really specific stuff on the 1 minute chart, price action, and maybe chart pattern wise, didn't help me. It never seemed to help me. And I was doing that in place of things that actually were making a difference. So I simplify that stuff as much as I possibly can and look at the general view of it. Yeah, so short somewhere over here would have been okay. Would have played. Again, if you hop back on the stream earlier, right about 2 o'clock, didn't want to get short over here. I was waiting for this to pull back above this area and then continue lower. Maybe on another day I'm getting short right there. If that's the case, I'm probably stopped out, so that one would have probably been a loss. I didn't because, again, we didn't pull that move. This was second chance, but with this new data, this printing here and chopping a lot longer and bookmap really starting to lighten up, this didn't look as appealing. Maybe I ran like an 8.5 point stop loss, and I'm targeting 55.20. Again, first trade, maybe stopped out. Second trade, looking pretty good so far. Profit would probably go stop loss to break even by now and run this to the downside. Again, is it super helpful to talk about what we would have done or could have done? No, but I'm looking at this stuff as potential setups and seeing, had I done something differently, would I have made a whole bunch of money today? So again, this was second chance for it. I'll tell you what really did it for me was after we pushed back up, liquidity coming off the order book down here after it was on is what kept me out of this one to the downside. No real reason for that to lighten up. That's a nice level to trade towards, especially if that's on there. So using the information I have in front of me to trade. And again, probably wouldn't hit a take profit, which would have been initial balance low, 55.20. So, see. Chopping around. I don't know that I'm going to get one out of this, guys, today. No trades for me this morning in XFAs. Let's go through morning setup, because I think you guys find this helpful. Morning setup I really like to take is waiting for the 15-minute opening range to set, which is marked by this level right here, 15-minute opening range high and 15-minute opening range low. A break of one side, trading towards the other side. I don't take right away as soon as it breaks one side, like the high, I go short, or it breaks the low, I go long. But this trade works out very nicely when I incorporate market structure and price action. Example, maybe we're trading to the upside. Actually, I'll give you a perfect example of it. When I took the trade and it played out really nicely. Feel free to hop in my Discord so you guys can check this stuff out for yourself and know that I'm not full of shit. You will see it play out nicely. You'll see it play out not so nicely. This was actually last trade I took. The last trade I took in Discord posted. Right here, we were pushing to the upside. We were bullish pre-market. We pushed at the open to the upside, cracked above overnight high, set the 15-minute opening range high, pushed down really aggressively, 15-minute opening range low, really close, lining up to session VWAP. I like this for an aggressive entry. I got long here. I know my position tool is right here. I got long right here, played out very nicely. Again, the initial thesis is targeting this 15-minute opening range high. Did not want to hold it much longer. Well, I can't remember the exact reasons behind this one. Oh, just moved really quickly. That's right. Moved super quickly. Didn't size big enough on this one. That was the goal. So again, you can see how it played out again today. really similarly. Cracked the low, came right back up to crack the high. This is too fast, and it was during news. So no interest of trading during red folder news. But that's setup number one. If we break the low and we're bullish. We're looking bullish overall. We come back up, we crack above VWAP. We find some support down here. Maybe we trade back through. We crack above the New York VWAP. I'm looking for long towards 15-minute opening range high. Conversely, we crack the high. We start to come back in, show some price action. Market structure, give me some reason to get short. I'm looking short. This is also a stat from Edgefill, so I will read you guys this. It's very interesting. Using Edgefill, which I will talk more and more about as I get more comfortable with it, and I continue to find it useful. ES breaks both sides of the 15-minute opening range, or has broken both sides of the 15-minute opening range during the New York session 71% of the time over the last 6 months. You can do it by weekday, and some of these stats are even heavier. Like on Wednesdays, it breaks both sides 73% of the time. On Thursdays, it'll break both sides of that range 80% of the time. You can narrow this down to say, I want to know how often that happens before, let's say, 12:30 p.m. That opening range is set at 9:45. I want to know if that's going to happen before 12:30 p.m. It'll give you stats for that. Again, interesting statistic that I've looked at just through back testing and through watching the chart play out, but it's demonstrated on Edgefill. Another one that I'm starting to watch a little bit more closely now that I have these stats. Just watching where price is at. Initial balance, the 1 hour, kind of the opposite. If it breaks one side of the 1 hour opening range, it's not likely to come all the way back down and break the other side of it. We're actually about to see that happen today. Not as common of that to happen. And there's stats to show how much it extends one side of the opening range. Again, you can just look at this stuff on a chart if you wanted to. Here is these are actually little indicators from Edgefill that I'm starting to play with. I'll give you an example. This just marks off your top and bottom of initial balance. This is regular trading hours for ES. This is 9:30 open. Here is 10:30. Here is the low that was put in during that time frame. Here's the high, just to get that example right. Here's the high that was put in. Here's the low. When it breaks one side, it often doesn't come back down and break the other side. If it does break one side, it often extends out. There's an average number that it extends out past. You could see that here as we broke the low. First break, you could see that here, extends to the downside. First break to the upside, you could see it extends there. It did come and break both sides. You could see the break to the downside here, extended down. Didn't break again. The high breaks the high here. You can see it extends up, doesn't come back down and break the low. You can see it breaks the low here, doesn't come back up and break the high. You can see that it extends down. So interesting stuff. Wouldn't have played so nicely on this day where it came all the way back in after just cracking below if you were getting short down here. Again, this is stuff you can find in backtesting, but there's software out there now. The guys are making it real easy for us. Real easy for us. So I'll talk to you more about that stuff. This one is gap fill. Pretty cool to look at as well. Those are kind of the three that I'm looking at. 15-minute opening range, which I'm already utilizing. The gap fill, how often the gap is filled from the close of the session to 9:30 open. That gap that's left during regular trading hours, how often is that filled? And it's pretty damn often in ES. And then the initial balance. Kind of combining initial balance with the 1 hour continuation for an interesting statistic. Shorts would have played, guys, all the way down. Would have hit that 55.20 initial target. Pretty damn slow, though. This would have been a pretty slow, painful 1 hour to sit through. We'll say that. Interesting, in 1 hour chart, just tested today. Last week low, turned down again. Be a nice trade. Gotcha, man. Yeah. Again, guys, there's levels all over the place. This stuff that I use is common. You can find many different ones. I don't think my levels are the end-all, be-all. It's all about finding stuff that works for you and that really speaks to you and that you understand and you can try to utilize in your trading. I think I'm going to wrap it up here, guys, about 3 o'clock. This was the initial trade idea. Had I taken it somewhere over here really early on, I might have been stopped if I ran a stop loss really tight. I didn't want to take it because I anticipated this happening. Again, go back and watch the video. Didn't take this one here because we lost liquidity down here at my target, which was 55.20, right at this initial balance low of the session. And we consolidated a little bit more than I would have liked to seen right here. But this short would have paid. So, day like today, no trades. Very, very, very slow. None of the XFA. Just really some testing when TopstepX had it. Guys were claiming a little bit of issues. I wanted to test that in the combine, but pretty much flat for today, which is okay, man. The market doesn't set up for you. You know, that's fine. So I'm going to call it there, guys. No trades today. Good conversation. Hopefully you found some value. Hopefully we get some trading in tomorrow. I'm back at it the rest of the week, 2 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube. Hop in the free Discord if you're not already. We'd be happy to have you there. Yeah, man. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, everybody that hopped in, asked questions. Feel free. Hit like and subscribe. This way you get alerts when I'm going live. You don't even have to worry about finding the link in Discord. Talk to you guys soon. See you guys tomorrow.